Hello, my name is Jen Ballou, and I am a doula located in Laguna Beach, California. I am the owner operator of JuJu'be Doula. If you want to check out my website, feel free to. It's www.jujubedoula.com. That's JuJubedoula.com. And so I'm starting this channel. I have a couple of videos on here, but I really wasn't sure exactly where I wanted to take the channel. I was still establishing, myself as a doula and as a holistic doula. I practice holistically, and I'm starting to get where I want to take this. Right, starting to really kind of see that vision and where I want to take this channel. So we'll start there. I am a energy healer. I practice vibrational energetic facilitation, and that goes into my doula work, that goes into my birth work, that goes into my conception, preconception, conscious conception, fertility, as well as my postpartum work as well. And that includes a shamanic practice, meaning I like to tell stories. I like to connect to the story and bring in all of the elements, the good, the bad, and the ugly, in order to create a sacred space that allows me to teach from, that allows me to create this energy field, create this template, you could say, of an experience. And this is healing, right? This is meant to allow one to incorporate the entirety of a story, right? Like so often in life, we hide the bad stuff, right? We mask it, we dance around it. We don't embrace it, right? We don't embrace the shadow. We don't embrace the darkness. And life is about both sides, life and death. And each part is very important in our journeys, and very important to allow yourself to be a healthy individual, to allow yourself to be a whole individual. And this obviously goes into my work through sacred sexuality. So through the journey through sacred sexuality, conception, pregnancy, birth, and beyond. In order to create healthy individuals, healthy partnerships, healthy families, healthy communities, whole communities. Our idea of health is very distorted, so don't get me started on that. But to really, really create this, this better world, it starts now, right? It starts now. So often people are in a rush to get pregnant, right? They talk about it with their significant other, or whoever it may be. It could be just a decision that they make on their own, and they rush the process rather than actually taking the time to sit back, to reflect, to really dig down deep into oneself, to align oneself to something more, to something better, to not carrying on the old dysfunctions that we may have with our families, with previous relationships and different things like that. And I know this through my own experience, and that is how I came into this work. So I wanted to share my own experience so you can kind of have an idea of where I come from and the work I do, and how I can assist you on your journey, how I can assist the whole. And then you understand my journey. And in subsequent videos, my plan right now is to share others' birth stories, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. So we are able to all embrace this part of our life, this journey wholeheartedly, and to create a new way forward, because the truth is that we need to make changes. We do. We have a long way to go. We definitely have a long way to go to embrace life in a much more fundamental way, to appreciate life, to honor life, and that is to honor also choice, right? Choice as well. Choice comes into this, allowing everyone to have their own choice, free will, and everything like that, encompassed into the whole. So, my experience. So I have a 7-year-old son, and he is my reason for being here, right? He is my reason for being here. And I can say that with it knowing how difficult it's been to get here. But I would not be here if it wasn't for him. I was on a very different path before he made himself known to me that he wanted to come in, and through my choice to embrace that. So I was married back in 2010 to my ex-husband, first marriage, only marriage thus far, and it was not a good marriage. It was highly dysfunctional, abusive, just not something that I wanted to raise children in. And it took me a long time to come to terms with that. I ignored all the warning signs and kept trying to fix it, and had a whole bunch of different things going on that I had to take a good hard look at. We were not trying to get pregnant. It just happened, although we weren't also completely not trying. But my experience ended up being traumatic, you could say. My first go around, right? My first go around with bringing life into this world through conception, through pregnancy, through birth, and beyond. The night before I found out I was pregnant, I knew my marriage was over, and had come to terms with that, you could say, on some level. And the next day, I knew I had to go out and get a pregnancy test because my period was late. And sure enough, it was positive. When I told my ex-husband that I was pregnant, first thing out of his mouth was, well, what do you want to do about it? Now, he knew my own personal choices, and he knew that I wanted to have children, and he knew that I would always make that choice. That's just my own personal choice, right? And it was not the most loving of expressions in that moment, although I was probably crying at that time, or at least not happy. So it was not the greatest conception experience.